Hey guys, your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the sport of wrestling inside the WWE world. In today's bonus segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on the January 6th Monday Night Raw episode that debuted last night on Netflix. So I'll be sharing my summary on the entire Raw episode that aired for the first time ever in the company's history on Netflix. Now, starting off with the first match, you had Roman Reigns defeat Solo Sikoa to become the true tribal chief in tribal combat. So I thought Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa opening the show was a really good decision. And they had a really good match. I mean, Roman Reigns put at several spots in the match, he was putting over his cousin Solo Sikoa. If you guys followed Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, when he was dominant for nearly 4 years in the company, he would talk trash to his opponents, making them feel worthless as he was the tribal chief. That's what Solo Sikoa was doing in the beginning part of the match, beating the hell out of Roman Reigns pillar to post and trash talking him, saying, "I loved you. It didn't have to be this way." So storytelling wise, it was great. It was a great back and forth match. The weapon in the second half of the match, it really picked up when the weapons got involved. The near fall kickouts, and with Solo Sikoa's new bloodline getting involved, and Roman Reigns having his old guys like Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn come by his side, that's when the match really started to pick up and we were getting to the closing part of the match, which I was really surprised that Kevin Owens hit a super kick or a stunner on Roman Reigns to try to help Solo Sikoa win the match. Then Cody Rhodes came out to help Roman Reigns by taking out Kevin Owens, but Roman Reigns picking up the pieces, hitting Solo Sikoa with a spear to win the match was great to see. Paul Heyman and The Rock giving Roman Reigns the tribal, the necklace, the Alafala, whatever they call it, to become the tribal chief once again. Now, for people that are saying that, I'll get to that with The Rock towards the end of this segment, but I do have my opinion on that. But Roman Reigns defeating Solo Sikoa was huge here. Now, with John Cena making his appearance, cutting a promo for the beginning part of his farewell tour, I thought that was a good way. John Cena, yes, he could be big match John. He could throw his accolades around. But I like that John Cena is starting to second guess himself at this point of his career, being at the end part of his career, not knowing if he still got it or not. I like that storytelling wise because we have the greatest, arguably the greatest of all time, a 16-time world champion, doubting himself if he could still go in the ring with this new era in the WWE. So I thought it was a good promo by John Cena, and I like the fact that John Cena continuously acknowledges the fact that he has not won a singles match since 2018. I think the last singles match he won was against Triple H in Saudi Arabia at an event of the Greatest Royal Rumble in 2018. But I like that John Cena is acknowledging the fact that the chance of breaking the all-time world title reigns in WWE history, as he's tied right now with the Nature Boy Ric Flair, it's in the sight, and it's possible to do with John Cena possibly winning the Royal Rumble or possibly winning the Elimination Chamber to punch his ticket properly to one of the main event slots of WrestleMania 41 this year. So I like what I'm seeing by John Cena. Definitely like the fact that he is entertaining the fact of becoming a 17-time world champion, because at the end of the day, that's everything that we want in John Cena's farewell tour. Now next, you had Rhea Ripley defeat Liv Morgan to become the new women's world champion. Now I will say I thought this was a good back and forth match between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan during the match. The pace of the match was fine. The false finishes were Rhea Ripley hitting the Riptide on Liv Morgan, with Liv Morgan kicking out at 2.5, and Rhea Ripley contemplating herself with what she could do, or if she's got everything it takes to become a women's world champion again. Then Liv Morgan hitting the Oblivion with the help of Raquel Gonzalez and Dominic Mysterio on Rhea Ripley on the steel chair in a similar format how she defeated Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam, only for Rhea Ripley to kick out was a good touch in the match as well. Now, Rhea Ripley winning the women's world title, I think, was the right call. Io Sky did a great job. Liv Morgan did a good job at that. But I think it's time for Rhea Ripley to have the women's world title. And fingers crossed, I would like to see Io Sky win the women's Royal Rumble this year to give us a women's world title match at WrestleMania 41 between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I think that could be a possible steal the show type of match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the women's world title at WrestleMania 41. But I did like the fact that WWE did use The Undertaker in some type of way for last night's Raw. Listen, legends don't have to hog up the screen for 5 5 to 10 minutes cutting worthless promos like Hulk Hogan. As long as you make good use out of it, that's a moment that Rhea Ripley's never going to forget in her career. And that picture of The Undertaker, Rhea Ripley doing The Undertaker's last ride pose, that's going to be a picture that you're going to have in the record books for a long time, with The Undertaker, in my opinion, being the greatest of all time. And then Rhea Ripley, one of the greatest women wrestlers of this generation, having that picture after she won the world title. I thought that was a good way to use The Undertaker. Now next, Jey Uso defeated Drew McIntyre. Now, I thought it was wild that WWE had Travis Scott smoking a fat blunt before Jey Uso came out to the ring. I was like, damn, they might take this Netflix thing to the next level. And I think they will. It's just going to take time and how they do it. But I thought that was pretty lit, of Travis Scott walking Jey Uso to the ring basically high as a kite after smoking that fat blunt on camera. But I thought the match between Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre, it was okay. I thought they were holding back a little bit, possibly for a bigger singles match down the line at a PLE. But I think Jey Uso winning makes the most sense right now, because Jey Uso never defeated Drew McIntyre in singles competition before. And that makes Drew McIntyre even more angry in his quest to take down the original Bloodline members that put trauma and put him through hell in his career a few years ago. So I don't think that story is going to end anytime soon. That's just going to fire up Drew McIntyre even more to go after original Bloodline members like Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, continue to attack Sami Zayn, possibly go after Solo Sikoa at one point, and then the end-all be-all get a singles match with Roman Reigns down the line at some point in 2025. So definitely great to see there. And then the main event, you had CM Punk defeat Seth Rollins. Now, I thought it was a great idea for the WWE to let CM Punk and Seth Rollins main event last night's Monday Night Raw over Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, due to the fact that this was a match that we needed to see in a big-time moment in the main event slot. So they fired on all cylinders, and CM Punk and Seth Rollins, this was a really good match. I mean, the commercial breaks, to a lot of people watching at home, in a way, I could see the argument that it did slow down the pace of the match due to the commercial breaks that we got in between during the match, unfortunately. But Seth Rollins and CM Punk have great in-ring chemistry. I was a big fan of this match. I thought the match was great. The false finishes were really great, spectacular. And I like the fact that CM Punk and Seth Rollins both hit their finisher, the opposing opponent's finishers on each other, with CM Punk hitting a curve stomp on Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins hitting a go-to-sleep, a GTS on CM Punk. But CM Punk catching Seth Rollins and making a mistake to close out the match of CM Punk hitting a go-to-sleep with Seth Rollins basically knocked out, and then CM Punk putting Seth Rollins on his shoulders, was a callback to an AEW World Title match that I saw between Jon Moxley and CM Punk 2.5 years ago. This in the same finishing format, with CM Punk having Seth Rollins on his shoulder, then hitting a go-to-sleep. CM Punk winning makes a lot of sense. His road to WrestleMania, he needed a big victory here. Seth Rollins will recover well from this loss. And it seems like for now, this might be the end of the feud until further notice. We don't know what the road to WrestleMania is really going to look like. So, I saw the rumors that Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan were rumored to take place at WrestleMania 41. That was a rumor, penciled in for WrestleMania 41. And CM Punk versus Seth Rollins was also rumored and penciled in for WrestleMania 41. So we're going to have to see what the hell is going to happen on the road to WrestleMania this year. Overall letter grade before I close this out. Overall letter grade that I'll give Raw's debut episode of Netflix, I'll give it a B-. And I get the fact that some fans might be a little upset because the event was overhyped. I mean, we only did get 4 matches in a 3.5-hour Raw episode. I think we just really didn't need the beginning part of the show with The Rock kicking it off, wasting minutes. I mean, we don't know, what is The Rock? Is he a babyface? Is he still the final boss in that heel persona? Is he going to appear at WrestleMania? Because we didn't see any heel tactics with The Rock giving Cody Rhodes praise, but you were just whooping his ass with the blood on his American Nightmare belt a year ago. Plus, you interrupted Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns teaming up together, possibly singly for a Rock and Roman Reigns WrestleMania match. I don't know what's going to happen. I will say Hulk Hogan getting booed out of the arena, I 110% agree with that. There's no need to ever bring him out ever again. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I thought the Raw episode should have had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria on it. I thought Penta Making his debut to the WWE should have been added on this Raw Netflix episode, but everything else was fine. The flow of the night was fine. I can see why a lot of people are a little upset the fact that they thought this event was overhyped, which is the reason why I give it a B-. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode.